Okay, what was your favorite shoe of 2019?
Well, I'm a Brooks girl, always. 3 marathons in Brooks. The Ghost 12 has won the Runner's Choice Award, and I love this color. And you can run fast in this shoe. It's a good trainer. It's a bop it around shoe. I love it.
What would you say your favorite shoe of 2019 was? I know you tried a lot of them.
I don't know. I only tried like 2.
Yeah, what do you think it was?
Of the 2?
Yes, of the 2.
I guess these.
Good morning, YouTube. Check out my amazing Christmas present that I got. Yeah, it says, I don't know if you, let me put my hair back here. It says, run like Heller. That's me. Maybe more to come for you guys in 2020. I don't know. Would you want some merch? Now, I know why you're all here today, and that's because I'm revealing my 2019 shoe of the year. And we're gonna get to that, but first I wanna explain how I came to this conclusion and why. Cause let's face it, I've tried a lot of shoes in 2019. So my Run Like Heller shoe of the year is of course gonna be a shoe that I tried and worked for me. Now that doesn't mean that it's gonna be the perfect shoe for you or that you should go run out and buy it, although you probably should. It had to pass a number of tests. Is it durable? Is it versatile? Is it affordable? Is it lightweight? Okay, so what shoe is it? The Run Like Heller 2019 shoe of the year is... Watch this slow motion video and find out for yourself. That's right. My 2019 running shoe of the year is the New Balance FuelCell Rebel. Congratulations. I ran all kinds of runs in this shoe, from tempo to fartlek to long runs, to days that I wanted to take it easy, to days that I wanted to pick up the pace, and it held up in every kind of condition, every type of run. This shoe is the real deal. I never felt like it failed me. It just works. There are, of course, a few things that I don't love because no running shoe is perfect, but let's dive right in and get started. As for the specs, the FuelCell Rebel is 6.1, let's say it again, 6.1, one more time for the people in the back, 6.1 ounces for a women's size 8, which is, I mean, bonkers. That is so light for a trainer, it's insane. There's really not a ton of other shoes that are that lightweight on the market right now, so already this has a giant advantage over the competition. It has a 6mm drop with 24mm of stack in the heel and 18 in the forefoot. The upper is made of a thin engineered mesh, and it's a one-piece booty construction, which means there's no real tongue on this shoe, And the only real overlays we have are the trace fiber stitching on both sides of the midfoot to give you a little bit more stability in that area. And it's reflective. Normally one-piece uppers don't really work for me. I need a little bit more support, but the trace fiber stitching here in the midfoot did hold me onto the platform pretty well. And the fit's pretty dialed in. I really had no problems, no hot spots, no blisters, no real discomfort. There was one minor issue, which I'll get to later on in the video. But other than that, it was pretty beautiful, and I just kind of forgot that it was even on my foot. There is no pull tab on this shoe, which you guys know I don't really like, but this back heel counter thing sort of flares out so you can pull it, and it kind of works as a pull tab, so I won't give them too much of a hard time for that. New Balance is using a full-length, dual-density FuelCell midsole in the FuelCell Rebel. That was almost impossible to say. FuelCell foam is amazing. I honestly thought that fresh foam was going to be dead in New Balance shoes, and with the introduction of FuelCell, they were just going to rip fresh foam off the market and start using FuelCell in all of their shoes. And I was wrong, because then I realized that Fresh Foam X is actually the best thing ever. But FuelCell is pretty darn close to the top. So I think what New Balance means when they say dual density is that there's a little more FuelCell midsole in the heel and a little less in the forefoot, so you can feel a little more propulsion while going through your stride. FuelCell is bouncy, it's soft, it's protective, it feels incredible underfoot. FuelCell is a little more responsive, but it's not so harsh that it's gonna give you foot fatigue or pain in those longer miles. It's just plush enough. I have ran well over 100 miles in this shoe, and while there's some creasing on the midsole in some areas, that's really the only wear that I've felt. I don't feel like it's become firmer over time. It feels like it's held up pretty well. There's also a slight rocker technology in the FuelCell Rebel, which is nice. As we know, I love a good rocker technology to help you roll forward in your stride. And this one, while slight, is pretty nice, mixed with the flexibility of the shoe and the FuelCell midsole. Moving on to the outsole of the shoe, New Balance is using blown rubber in the forefoot that dips into the midfoot of the shoe. And then we have some exposed FuelCell foam here and some blown rubber in the heel. Now, other than the exposed FuelCell in the midfoot in this area, I've seen really no signs of wear. This rubber has held up throughout the course of me wearing this shoe. If I look at it, there's obviously some dirt and a little bit of wear on the tread, but there's really nothing too terrible to complain about. I don't feel like this shoe has lost any of its traction on the road. When I run in it, it still feels like it's gripping onto surfaces pretty well, so I don't really have any problems with it. So like I said, I do have some slight issues with this shoe, and it's two things really, and they're not deal breakers, but just things that I wanted to note. So the first one is sizing. When I got this shoe, I ordered a 10.5 and an 11 with the idea that I would return the one that didn't fit as good, and you know, you get what I'm trying to say. The 11 felt a little too big, a little too sloppy, and the 10.5 fit better, but it was still a little on the snug side. I picked the 10.5, but I would say that I could afford a little more room in the toe box area. My toes do touch the top of the shoe a little bit, but it's never caused me any discomfort on any runs of any pace or distance. It's just something that I'm certainly aware of and I don't love. The 11 was too big, the 10.5 is kind of too small, and I need something in between, and maybe it's a personal problem, but it's just something that I wanted to note in case you guys decide to pick the shoe up. You might want to go and try it on in the store for yourself before ordering it online. The other issue that I have with this shoe is this flare out in the midsole here, right in this midfoot. Oh, I'm covering my face. I'm guessing that New Balance put this in here for a little bit more stability, and while I get that and I kind of see how it works, it does cause some pronation problems. I definitely tend to overpronate. This shoe makes me pronate more so than a regular shoe. If you are a person who overpronates, then you might want to consider that when looking at this shoe. It's definitely made with a more neutral runner in mind. It is, after all, a neutral shoe. So just something to think about. But that's really it. Other than that, I love this shoe. It gets me. I get it. And we have a beautiful relationship. As for price on the FuelCell Rebel, it is $129.95 on runningwarehouse.com. And if you use my code RUNHELLER on the website, you can get it for 10% off of that, so that's even less. And I would say the price is definitely warranted for this shoe. It's durable, you'll have it for a long time, and you can do all kinds of runs in this shoe. If you can only have one shoe, then I would say go for this. You can race, you can do tempo runs, 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons, ultras, whatever you want. Just, it's worth it. This was a really tough video to make because I considered a couple different shoes, but at the end of the day, this one just worked best for me. An honorable mention would be, hang on, let me get it. An honorable mention for me would be the Hoka Rincon. It's a similar type of thing, a really lightweight, nicely cushioned, versatile shoe that will help you go the distance. But at the end of the day, I think that it has just a little too much cushioning for racing, and the outsole durability is just not as good as the FuelCell Rebel. I have quite a bit of wear here, and there's really not a lot of rubber. It is a lower price tag of, I think, $115, but I just think that the FuelCell Rebel will appeal to more people, and I just happen to like it a little bit better. So that kind of concludes this video. It's the end of 2019, which is literally insane. What's your favorite shoe of 2019? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to find out and see if there's a shoe that I missed out on that I should be trying. I can't thank you enough for all the support and all of the love I've gotten on this channel since I started it in September. Also, let me know in the comments below what you're most looking forward to in 2020. What shoes would you like me to review? What other stuff would you like me to review? Anything, let me know in the comments below. I have another video coming to you guys next week, but in the meantime, get out there, get on the grind, and don't forget to run like Heller. See you next year.
What's up, YouTube? Emily is absent today. I'll be filling in, and since I don't run, I'm gonna be reviewing this food that I eat. So let's dig in. It's delicious.
I know, I made it myself.
This is risotto with mushroom and spinach. Let's get a zoom in on the food.
It's arugula, actually.
Whatever. I also have a cup of tea. Chamomile and lemon tea. You get a waft of that goodness. If you haven't tried this brand of hummus, highly suggest. This is actually my first time trying the fresh lemon dill. I always usually go for the beet lemon hummus. So that's really all I have. Don't forget to get on the grind. Get out there. Get on the grind and run like Heller.